folks, my name is Mo Amir, and this is Van Color, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. Happy Halloween! As you can see, I'm dressed as a mushroom this year. A real fun guy. You get it. We are going to have fun tonight. Kendall Gender from Canada's Drag Race gives us her insights on Halloween fashion. Plus, Fiona Forbes will be here to discuss how a Hollywood A-lister roasted an iconic Canadian junk food cuisine, and we're going to clap back. But first, social media is ruining society, and yet we're all still on it. And if you're a public personality, you have to be on it. But one powerful voice in BC has decided he's had enough. At least enough with X, formerly known as Twitter. Here to discuss social media and why he chose to leave the internet's public square, the host of CBC's The Early Edition every weekday morning bright and early on CBC Radio, my friend, Stephen Quinn. Stephen, hello.
Mo, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm well. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you since I don't see you online that often.
You do not on X anyhow. not anymore.
Well, I have to know because you are driving conversation in this city and in this province, and yet you're not on the social media public square that is X, formerly Twitter. What made you decide to leave that arena?
I saw staying on when Twitter turned into X, when Elon Musk took it over and it started to go south. And it was clear that he was using it for the purposes that I thought it was not originally intended for, and using it as a personal vehicle and reinstating Donald Trump and bringing back bringing back voices that really didn't deserve to be part of the conversation.
The white supremacists?
let's call that what it is. Yes. I couldn't stand by and tacitly endorse that by staying a part of it, which was really sad for me because, I remember I have a distinct memory of the day I started up Twitter.
Okay.
I started up this thing called Twitter.
This is why it's so personal between you and Elon.
That's right. That's why I'm taking it personally. No, I remember when it first popped up and I thought, oh, this is really interesting. Had a look at it. And I thought this could be really useful, especially if you do live radio. Yeah. Because this is a way of talking back to people immediately in real time and having
instant feedback.
Exactly. Yeah. And silently. You don't have to go listen to a talkback line or, a voicemail message or something like that. It's just there on your screen.
Right.
And then immediately somebody invented TweetDeck, which was like my favorite thing in the world because now you had columns of stuff happening.
Right.
I think it was on that day. It was before I was the permanent host of On the Coast. I was hosting BC Today. What's now BC Today. It was called BC Almanac at the time.
Right.
So we were province-wide, and I was like, hey, have you heard about this thing called Twitter? Why not follow me on Twitter? And people did, and it turned into kind of a thing. And I went to CBC, and I started up then I moved to On the Coast, and then I started up an On the Coast Twitter account.
Yeah.
And CBC said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm starting up an On the Coast Twitter account. And they said, you can't do that. We don't know what Twitter is yet. We haven't figured out what we're going to do with it yet. So I just started it up under my own name, and that kind of became the de facto show account. And it was wildly successful in that we had a bunch of really, really loyal listeners and fans who are all on Twitter who would actually get together in real life, in the real world, and go have like beers once a month.
Totally.
Somewhere.
I've met people off Twitter.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it was, but it was like this little sort of fan group, for lack of a better, just people who shared an interest, and it was really cool because they came from really, really different walks of life, and students and engineers and actors, and it was this really cool group of people. And I saw the utility of it then, which is you bring together a lot of people who otherwise might not run into each other in the public square, and they did there. So it was great for a while.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
I mean, I wouldn't exist in this mediascape if it was not for Twitter.
Yeah.
I developed my following or my podcast following
of course
through
you did.
Twitter.
Yeah.
And then started, appearing more in media. And now I have the show and we're on our 4th season. So I always feel like a certain affection for it. But I would agree that it's just been going downhills. But it sounds like you're taking more of a political stand than like your experience on Twitter.
Well, it wasn't I mean, it was the experience started to get worse and worse after it became X, and I became less and less interested in it. And what you know about social media is if you don't keep posting, you die, and you'll go.
I know that very well.
Yeah, you will go away, and no one cares.
Yeah.
Your good friend Bob Kronbauer and I used to joke all the time about. He was getting DM'd by Ryan Reynolds, or he had a DM exchange with Ryan Reynolds. And I said, oh, dude, you should put that on a T-shirt. And an hour later, somebody knocked on my door and delivered me a T-shirt that says, Ryan Reynolds DM'd you. And it was hilarious.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds has left me on red because he does follow me. So I tried to reach out once. Didn't reach back. So
no, I've had a couple of exchanges with him. Okay. So, but that, and then you get the Reynolds.
Put us in a group chat. What are you doing?
I'm not there anymore. So I know it was funny because Bob Kronbauer and I sort of had this little rivalry, which is very funny.
Yeah.
It was a joke, and I tried to get Ryan Reynolds to play into it at one point, and he said, I don't think so. But it was. And we didn't have a huge following. We had about 35,000 followers, which was respectable.
Yeah.
And it grew at a steady pace over, I guess, maybe the 8 years we were on. And I say we because it was the show's Twitter. Sure. It had my name on it, but it belonged to the show. And it was great, but I really couldn't do it anymore. And it was the same thing. I mean, Facebook. I used to be on Facebook as well many, many years ago. I quit that after the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and I went through. I took all my data off and downloaded everything and got off of that because, again, I mean, I just can't. I feel like I can't tacitly endorse something that is doing more harm than good.
But you haven't sworn off Meta because I've seen you on Threads. You're threading.
Yep.
So why Threads then?
Like everyone else in the world, I opened a Threads account and never used it. So there was that. But I also got excited about Blue Sky originally.
Okay.
Because I thought that was going to do something. And I liked the idea of it not belonging to Meta. And I liked the idea of it, it was sort of a spin-off of the original Twitter.
Yeah.
And it had
definitely the aesthetic.
Yes. And it had like a deck and the same thing. And so you could do that. Threads I just found to be, I didn't find it to be as user-friendly as Twitter. The utility of Twitter was always the being able to compile lists and being able to follow individual news events. I remember one of the most amazing nights I ever had on Twitter was when they were trying to track down the Boston Marathon bombers.
Right. Yeah.
And I was listening to NPR from Boston at the time and watching Twitter, and they had compiled all of these lists, and people were like literally mapping where these guys were, and it was wild. Like this. And here I was, sitting at home
for
in
breaking
Vancouver.
news. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing for breaking news, and I just didn't see that anymore. And then the hoaxes. I mean, I think they killed Gordon Lightfoot 4 times.
Right. Yeah.
Before he, God rest his soul, as we have to say at CBC, we're mandated to say that. But it's
really quick. We got 10 seconds here. Do you have a golden rule for social media that you think people should follow?
Don't be an idiot.
That's a great way to end this.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot.
Stephen, a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Bo, thank you.
Folks, one of the best in the business, Stephen Quinn. Make sure you catch him on CBC's The Early Edition every weekday morning. Now, after some business, what makes the perfect Halloween costume? Well, I know just the person to ask. Kendall Gender is up next.